feel. So it's really, hormones are a major influencer in how we want to feel. But both the physiological and the psychological will impact how hormones are expressed. So if somebody has an unhealthy gut, if they have things like chronic infections, I deal a lot with people that have chronic Lyme disease and people that have mold toxicity quite often, because they have different genetic variants that make them more sensitive to things like autoimmune problems. So we can find and measure this on labs, higher levels of mold toxins, Lyme bacteria, different environmental toxins like glyphosate in their body. That's shifting their nervous system in that stress state as well. That's going to really impact hormones tremendously. So then I can measure hormones on a hormonal test, which I would, and you'll see cortisol levels all off. You'll see typically estrogen, progesterone, testosterone very low. Sometimes estrogen will be high with estrogen dominance. But for the most part, when you're in a sympathetic fight or flight stress state, most hormones will be sluggish. They'll be on the low end of normal or really low. But then if you just saw the hormones happening in a vacuum, you'd think, well, it's a hormonal problem. Well, no, there's a bigger context as to why the hormones were off in the first place. So that's why context matters when it comes to all these different aspects of health. But supporting hormones are certainly imperative when you're talking about somebody's mood, when you talk about somebody's gut feelings. Hormones are those biochemical emails. So I have to measure them. I have to optimize them. Thyroid is another major player too, because many people, they're just getting basic thyroid labs. They're not really getting complex thyroid labs. So we have to really look at the complexity of thyroid hormone metabolism.
But is this something that, like, at least, and I'm asking as someone who was born and raised in London, obviously, like, how much of this is accessible in the United States or across the world? Like, how do people ask for these labs?